Welcome to the Truth Room with Débora. In the last episode, I spoke about the forgetting, how life, pain, survival, and expectation can slowly move us away from who we truly are. And now, even through all of that, something within us still remembers. This episode is part of the Remember Who You Are mini-series. And today I want to talk about what often comes from forgetting, the running. I think many of us imagine running as physically leaving something behind, but often the running is internal. We run into distractions, into busyness, into relationships, into achievement, into overworking and constantly doing. Sometimes we even run into versions of ourselves that feel safer than the truth, because if we stay moving, we don't have to fully feel what's underneath. One of the reasons The Lion King resonates so deeply with me is because Simba's running looked comfortable for a while. He escaped responsibility, he escaped pain, he escaped guilt. And on the surface, his new life looked peaceful. But deep down, something in him still knew, because you can change your environment, distract yourself, even build a whole new identity. But truth has a way of following you quietly. I think eventually running becomes exhausting, not always just physically, but it can also be emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, because maintaining a life that's disconnected from your deeper truth requires energy. And sometimes the anxiety, restlessness, or dissatisfaction we feel isn't because we're failing. It's because something inside of us is tired of hiding. For me, I've realized there were seasons where I kept running through doing. I kept myself busy with responsibility, caring, supporting others, just constantly doing. And while much of it came from genuine care, I also think busyness can sometimes stop us from sitting with ourselves fully. Because when we slow down, we begin to hear what's happening internally. So I was always running from the silence. Sometimes silence reveals some things we've been trying not to feel. And I think that's why many of us stay constantly occupied, because stillness can be confronting. But stillness is often where truth begins. I think one of my biggest forms of running was waiting until everything felt perfect before starting anything. I wanted certainty. I wanted everything in place. I wanted to feel fully ready. But I began to realize that sometimes perfection can become another hiding place, because perfection can feel safer than vulnerability. And I think there comes a moment where I realized staying hidden is costing more than stepping forward. But I also learned and wanted to let you know that running doesn't make you weak. Sometimes running is how we survived. Sometimes we needed distance before we were emotionally ready to face truth. But there comes a point where survival is no longer enough and something deeper begins calling us home, because eventually the distractions quiet down, the running slows, and something begins to wake up within us. And that's what we'll explore in the next episode. The awakening. If this episode resonated with you, if something in you felt seen or stirred or even challenged, I want to invite you into this space. The Truth Room isn't just my voice, it's our voices. If you have a story, a journey, something you've been through, I would love to hear from you. You can reach out, share your story, or even be part of a future conversation, because healing doesn't happen in silence. It happens when truth is spoken. This is the Truth Room with Débora, where truth is spoken and healing begins.